Hi, welcome back, you guys. Week 11 of Unit 2. We're getting close to the end. There's 13 in this one, and that'll be the end of the semester. All right, so the theme on this one is finding that win-win. It's how to perform your plea negotiations. Okay, by the end of this, you'll be able to negotiate with just about anybody. But remember, you got to walk away. People are not going to agree to stuff if they don't see or they don't see something that they get out of it. So you got to make sure that everybody gets something out of it. Okay, so as our agenda states, we're going to start off with a warm-up, Sixth Amendment stuff, okay? There's some videos in there. Make sure you watch them because that's really going to bring it home, because the Sixth Amendment are the rights of the people that are officially accused and going on trial. So that's really important in this case. Then we're going to go into introduction on plea negotiations and strategy. You're going to practice a little bit like on non-legal stuff, and then we'll move into that and then talk about the role of pleas in the criminal justice system. So start off with that warm-up, and you're going to go over what does the Sixth Amendment cover. And so I broke it down. There are 5 main pieces, okay? Right to a speedy trial, public trial. Those are 2 separate things, by the way. You have to be informed of the criminal charges. There's one about confronting your adverse witnesses. So the witnesses against you, you have to, be able to ask them questions. And then there's also the part about bringing in witnesses for yourself. And then, of course, the assistance of counsel. Okay. And so here is just a little background about the 6 so you can better understand it, about a minute. Okay. And then here's a drag and drop. So you're going to fill in exactly what the parts are of the Sixth Amendment. Then here's a couple clips from an oldie but a goodie movie called Judge Dredd. Now, they've redone it, but I want you to watch the original one with Sylvester Stallone, the old Rocky guy. And so you're going to watch those and identify what rights are not given in this case, as well as this. And actually, what would this scene be like if the Sixth Amendment were there? Then you're going to get into plea negotiations, okay? And here's a little background about why they plea bargain, why so many do. 95% of those that plead guilty have done it through the plea negotiations, okay? Then, of course, you're going to watch this little criticism of it in a way. And so watch John Oliver. I tried to get rid of all of his icky stuff because for some reason he likes to talk about the Muppets. And then here you're going to, again, a little bit more about negotiating. And then you're going to get into how to, okay, actually how to do it. Here we go. We got 2 scenarios you're going to work through, non-legal, okay? Then here's actually legal practice. Okay, so let's practice with some scenarios. And here's the timeline. Now, normally you state your position, and then you let the other people state their position. That brings in that theory of the case about why are we here? What do we see? Okay, and then somehow, each submits an offer, the other one responds, and you have a counter offer, and they respond. Normally this goes back and forth way more than this, but this is what we have time for. And so then we're going to go into these cases. Like you're going to start with Ward, who's been charged with a robbery. Okay, now the way I have this set up, this is me talking to you. This is a little bit of gradual release where I say, okay, let me walk you through this one. Iowa right now has got 2 degrees of robbery, but we could also bump it down to burglary. And what I'm talking about here is what is actually in the sentencing guidelines. Now, what I'm going to tell you, okay, so then what we do is I go over to this one. I say, okay, always start with your perspective. This is that theory of the case. So the first step, the number 1 from that timeline is you need to lay ground for what you're about to say. So robbing a furniture store is not very smart, but Ward has no prior history, and the information came from this informant, which is not a first-hand witness, and who knows why they're saying it. And so our first offer would be this. Okay, now don't forget, it's time. Parole of an option at what point. You could also put money in there, which I did not. Okay, now then there's my first offer. I put it out there. Then the defense responds, and they're going to go really low. You're like, hey, no past criminal history. How about 3rd-degree burglary? Okay, fine, possibly 5 years served, parole, not an option. Okay, and so then you're going to come up with what is the final offer and how is that going to go down. Okay, and so they're going to accept this one, and so then you find a way to the middle. Now here you've got the next one, which is Chester. Again, I kind of laid it out there for you to be responding, and then the last one, of course, is Watson. Now here's an exit ticket, just talking a little bit about plea negotiations. If you have any questions, let us